This divine ability was astonishing. It was him temporarily abandoning the soul armor he wore, casting it away to transform into a true Tianyo soul, using it to shatter the remnant knight of heaven and earth. Everything happened in an instant. The Tianyo soul shot forward at blinding speed, colliding with the blazing sun, unleashing a heaven-shaking roar. Amid that deafening boom, Wang Lin spat blood, and as the remnant knight divine ability collapsed, his body was blasted back several hundred zhang. As for Bian Yun, his figure shuddered, as though he had suddenly aged 1,000 years. Blood welled up from his mouth as he stumbled backward in panic. But how could Wang Lin allow him to escape? Ignoring his own injuries, Wang Lin lunged forward, rushing straight toward the retreating Bian Yun, determined to kill him while his soul armor was still dispersed. Tang Jia remained silent and made no move to interfere. Her earlier assistance had been solely on behalf of her elder sister. Now, she merely cast a complicated glance at Wang Lin's charging figure before turning without hesitation and vanishing into the distance. Murderous intent filled Wang Lin's face as he closed in on Bian Yun in a flash. Raising his right fist, he punched forward with the full force of Tao ancient power. Heaven and earth trembled as a thunderous boom echoed, blasting Bian Yun backward and causing him to vomit blood in torrents. Wang Lin staggered but gritted his teeth and charged once more. Explosions thundered again and again between the two of them. Fear finally showed in Bian Yun's eyes. He had seen madmen before, but never anyone like Wang Lin. Someone who completely disregarded himself, seeking only to kill. Just then, as the battle between Wang Lin and Bian Yun raged on, a giant black hand suddenly manifested thousands of li away inside the Unity sect. It tore through the void, reaching directly toward this battlefield. Wang Lin's expression darkened. He immediately abandoned his assault, retreating several steps. Ripples spread beneath his feet before his figure vanished, fusing into heaven and earth. The black hand descended, grabbing Bian Yun and yanking him back into the Unity sect. This entire battle, from its start to its end, had lasted only moments. It was only after Wang Lin's departure that the 4 meteors still hanging in the sky finally crashed to the ground, erupting with a deafening roar. For 1,000 li around, an endless storm of dust surged skyward. When it finally cleared, the ground was left deeply sunken, with countless fragments of blackened rock still smoldering, releasing curling columns of dark smoke. Far from this place, at a distance that would take 2 months to traverse by flight, ripples stirred in the sky above a stretch of mountains. Wang Lin stepped out of the void, pale-faced. He stood there silently for a long time. After a while, he slowly lifted his head, gazing around with a desolate expression. "Heavenly Bull Continent, it's time for me to leave," he murmured. With a sigh, Wang Lin lowered his head to glance at the land beneath him, then suddenly froze. He knew this place. He had been here before. This was where the 7 Paths sect once stood on the Heavenly Bull Continent. His unintentional teleportation had no fixed destination, yet fate had brought him here. Looking down at the mountains below, where black mist swirled, Wang Lin exhaled softly. His figure turned into a long rainbow as he sped toward the depths of the mist, flying in the direction where the 7 Paths sect had once been. Soon, on a mountain peak shrouded in mist, Wang Lin saw a cluster of palaces exuding an aura of age and decay. He descended on the plaza outside the main hall. The blue stone tiles were broken and overgrown with weeds. Sitting cross-legged there, Wang Lin gazed at the 7 Paths sect. Slowly, the desolation in his heart was replaced by a faint warmth. In a way, this was his home. Closing his eyes, Wang Lin sat there, slowly mending his injuries. His soul armor had long since been put away. In his weakened state, he summoned EC, the protector, and began to quietly heal. Time passed, and 3 days went by. When Wang Lin opened his eyes, he looked toward the 7 Paths sect and stood up. The first time he came here, he had merely glanced around. Now, returning for the second time, his heart was heavy with complex emotions. Before leaving the Heavenly Bull Continent, he walked step by step through the 7 Paths sect. He passed every building, every hall, every former dwelling of the 7 Paths sect disciples. At last, he entered the Mountain Gate's Grand Hall. Inside, A massive chair still stood, clearly belonging to the seven-colored immortal venerable. The hall was silent. Dust covered the floor and furniture, carrying the heavy scent of decline. Wang Lin stood there quietly for a long time before closing his eyes. For a brief moment, it felt as though he could sense the existence of the abode realm. A pang of homesickness struck him. He missed the abode realm. He missed everyone there. He could almost picture it. Within the immortal realm of the abode, a stunningly beautiful woman stood atop a mountain, her long hair fluttering. She lifted her graceful face, gazing at the pitch-black sky, as though searching for a pair of eyes beyond it. After a long while, Wang Lin opened his eyes, left the hall, and stood once more in the empty Seven Paths sect. Slowly, his expression darkened. The cruel reality was still there, waiting for him to face it. These past few months, something earth-shattering must have happened here on the Heavenly Bull continent. Something that caused the Unity sect to change its reward for me. Or perhaps, forced me to betray Heavenly Bull altogether. And yet, they still allowed me to leave. As for the Great Soul sect, Wang Lin's eyes suddenly flashed, and he faintly felt as though he had grasped something, but it wasn't clear. His right hand quickly raised, and as he opened his palm, a 3-inch small figure immediately appeared within his hand. Upon its appearance, the figure immediately knelt in the palm and bowed to Wang Lin 3 times. Wang Lin's mind trembled, and he closed his hand. His previous deduction had been shrouded in mist, and he couldn't see clearly, but a phrase vaguely surfaced in his heart. As for the matter of the reward, since it is as such, I won't change it. If Wang Lin abides by it without delay, this can be used as proof for judgment. This phrase was the essence of a hair left behind by the young Patriarch of the Unity sect, condensed by his divine sense, and transmitted through the sect master of the Unity sect. As Wang Lin pondered the phrase, after the 3 bows, it was the only thing that emerged from the blur, and there must be meaning behind it. Murmuring it several times, suddenly his body shook violently, and he raised his head sharply. His eyes blazed with tremendous light. The matter of the reward, since it is as such, I won't change it. If Wang Lin abides by it without delay, this can be used as proof for judgment. Each final word, matter, reason, change, delay, judgment. Change in the matter, delay and defection. There's a change in the matter, defection. Wang Lin took a deep breath. Analyzing the phrase based on sound, no matter how it was interpreted, there was only one meaning. The Azure Ox Patriarch was warning Wang Lin in this manner, urging him to defect quickly. Even with the Azure Ox Patriarch's cultivation, he had to use such a method to hint at me, and he was probably worried that I wouldn't understand. He discussed with the Unity sect's sect master, using the excuse of an unfair reward to force me out of the Heavenly Bull continent. Defecting from the Heavenly Bull continent means I cannot stay here, and I must leave quickly. Could it be that the Azure Ox Patriarch is asking me to leave the Heavenly Bull continent at the fastest speed? Wang Lin fell silent. He felt a huge mystery existed within the Heavenly Bull continent, and this mystery was the key reason behind the change in attitude of the Great Soul sect and the Unity sect. Similarly, this mystery was very likely tied to the Green Demon continent, and he had suspected for a long time what this war between the 2 continents was truly about. Wang Lin thought about many things, but all of this was his analysis, and he didn't know the real hidden truth behind it. After a long while, Wang Lin gazed into the distance, a decisive look in his eyes. Forget it. This place was always murky water. Since this has already happened, thinking too much is useless. It's time to leave the Heavenly Bull continent. However, my departure may not be that simple. There may be obstacles along the way. If one of my guesses is true, the people obstructing me will mostly come from the Green Demon continent. Wang Lin muttered. Just as he was about to leave, his expression suddenly changed, and he quickly looked up at the black mist covering the peak of the mountain. With a flash of his body, he disappeared without a trace. As Wang Lin vanished, the mist churned, and a figure vaguely flew from outside. The figure was cautious and careful. After observing the surroundings, it looked behind to make sure no one was following before seemingly letting out a sigh of relief. It slowly descended and landed on the Seven Paths Sect's plaza. Damn, encountered some setbacks on the way. I was delayed a few days. I hope I haven't disrupted the old ancestors' arrangements. The figure revealed a tense expression, looked around, and then found a corner to sit down in preparation for meditation. But at that moment, a voice echoed through the plaza. Du Qing. The figure, which was Du Qing, heard someone call his name and immediately soared into the air. His face showed panic, but that panic quickly turned into joy. Taoist Wang Lin. He recognized Wang Lin's voice. Wang Lin furrowed his brows, and his figure materialized. Looking at Du Qing, whom he hadn't seen in some time, he suddenly spoke. Who told you to come? Elder Wang. It was the Azure Patriarch of the Great Soul Sect who found me and told me to set out months ahead. I arrived 3 days ago to bring something to you. Du Qing quickly descended and stood in front of Wang Lin. He raised his right hand, and with a grasp, a black stone appeared in his hand. The stone looked ordinary, and despite Du Qing's efforts to discern its purpose during the journey, he found nothing. However, thinking of the serious expression on the Azure Patriarch's face, he vaguely felt that this item was precious. Wang Lin's gaze flickered. He took the black stone, examined it for a moment, and his pupils contracted. He detected the aura of the soul evolution Dao from it. Thank you, Brother Du. Du Qing quickly shook his head, blinked, and whispered, What's inside it? Wang Lin smiled slightly, shook his head without answering, and instead looked up at the sky, slowly speaking. Say no more, Brother Du, if fate allows. We will meet again in the future. For now, farewell. With a quiet sigh, Wang Lin stepped into the sky, and his figure vanished in an instant. Du Qing watched him disappear, faintly grasping some hidden meaning. He shook his head with a heavy sigh, then transformed into a streak of rainbow light and departed. His destination was the Great Soul Sect, where he was to tell the Azure Patriarch that the entrusted matter had been fulfilled. Merging with the heavens and earth, Wang Lin left the Seven Paths sect. When he reappeared, it was within a desolate desert. Such barren lands were rarely seen on the heavenly bull continent. Night had already fallen. A biting wind swept across the desert, a cold so sharp it could freeze mortals to death. But to cultivators, it was easily resisted. For someone like Wang Lin, a third-step great power, that same wind felt almost gentle against his skin. In his hand, he still held the black stone. Lowering his head, Wang Lin gazed at it in silence, his eyes deep in contemplation. He wasn't sure whether he should open it or not. Though he did not know exactly what the stone was, the faint aura of the soul evolution art lingering upon it seemed to whisper the method of opening. After a long moment, decisiveness flashed in Wang Lin's eyes. As he spread open his palm, a 3-inch tall figure formed from the soul evolution art suddenly appeared beside the stone. With a flicker, it fused into the stone itself. A cracking sound rang through the desolate night, carried by the mournful wind into Wang Lin's ears. The stone split apart, thin fissures spreading across its surface. Within 10 breaths, it shattered completely. From within, 4 globes of light burst forth. The instant Wang Lin saw them, his mind trembled, leaving him frozen in place. Inside the first globe was a fist-sized clay figure, seated cross-legged. It had no facial features, and its body was shifting rapidly between the form of armor and a humanoid shape. A torrent of 5 elements earth armor aura surged outward, merging faintly with the desert ground, stirring the sand into rippling waves. Wang Lin had only limited knowledge of the armor of the Unity sect. He had seen a few, whether in the Abode realm or at the sect's mountain gate when the sect master bestowed them upon others. But these armors, whether in appearance or aura, were leagues apart from what lay before him. Even with his shallow understanding, Wang Lin could instantly tell this was an existence of an entirely different level. Such humanoid earth armor was surely rare, even within the Unity sect. Wang Lin could only wonder what price the Azure Patriarch had paid to obtain such a treasure on his behalf. He remained silent. The second light globe held a small black flag, more precisely, a ghost sail. From it radiated an illusory aura, one that could draw a person's mind in, trapping them within its dreamlike currents. At once, Wang Lin recognized the aura. It was identical to the supreme ghost sail formation that guarded the Great Soul Sect. If his guess was right, this was none other than the auxiliary flag of that very mountain guarding formation, the reward that the Unity sect's sect master had spoken of, promised to whoever killed Wang Lin. As he gazed at the ghost sail flag, a strange heaviness welled in his heart. The ghost sail was of utmost importance to the Great Soul sect, and yet, without warning, the Azure Ox Patriarch had placed it directly into his hands. Again, Wang Lin could only remain silent. The third globe of light contained a brown pearl. At first glance, it looked almost identical in size to the heaven-defying pearl. Even its aura carried striking similarities. In that moment, Wang Lin felt an illusion, as though he were staring at the very pearl that had merged with his soul. This is Wang Lin froze. Concentrating his divine sense, he studied it closely. The longer he looked, the more similarities he found to the heaven-defying pearl, yet they were not the same. The pearl was like a firefly compared to the bright moon, like two stars seen in the sky, one destined to blaze as a sun, the other fated to remain a faint glimmer. And on this pearl, Wang Lin sensed the aura of the heavenly bull. Though he could not identify it precisely, a suspicion rose within him. This treasure was deeply connected to the heavenly bull itself. On the heavenly bull continent, anything tied to the heavenly bull was considered an unparalleled treasure, never to be given away, never to leave the continent. Yet here it was, resting before him. Though it appeared light, it weighed heavily on the depths of his heart. The fourth globe of light contained a fragment of broken tortoise shell. Its surface was carved with countless intricate patterns. To the naked eye they were blurred, but when Wang Lin swept them with his divine sense, his body stiffened and he suddenly turned to face the direction of the Great Soul sect. It was as though he could see an old man seated atop Azure Sky Peak, smiling faintly at him, raising his right hand in a gesture of farewell. Within that tortoiseshell was the map of the entire eastern continent. It lacked detail, and the farther it strayed from the heavenly bull continent, the more it dissolved into vague outlines and simple annotations. Yet this map, at this moment, was of immense importance to Wang Lin. Within the tortoiseshell, aside from the map, was also a detailed account of the heavenly bull pearl. After reading it, Wang Lin immediately understood much that had been unclear before. Azure Ox True One's words were only a single sentence, not a divine sense projection, but carved directly into the shell. Safe travels. 300 years from now, return to visit the Great Soul sect. There was no explanation, no reason given, no mention of those three conditions. Only this single line, bringing to a close Wang Lin's karmic ties with the heavenly bull continent. Wang Lin's expression grew complicated. After a long silence, he let out a heavy sigh. He put away the humanoid armor, stored the secondary ghost sail, and held the heavenly bull pearl. Infusing the Tianyo soul into it, he ensured he could carry it anywhere he wished to go. Finally, with utmost care, he stored away the tortoise shell. Casting one last glance toward the direction of the Great Soul sect, he clasped his hands and bowed deeply. "I will return," Wang Lin murmured, before turning and stepping into the sky. Following the map's directions carved in the tortoise shell, he set out toward its marked boundary, his destination, the Donglin sect. The Donglin sect lay in the northern part of the eastern continent, within the Great Sage province. Between it and the heavenly bull continent stretched 5 continents, an unfathomable distance. Normally, even traveling at full speed would take countless years. Even with Wang Lin's shrinking earth technique, reaching the Great Sage province would still take at least a year or two, for the technique could not be used in succession. Moreover, the path to Donglin sect passed through one place, the Green Devil continent. If he chose to bypass it, the detour would waste even more time, and the obstacles would no longer be only 5 continents. Treacherous terrain and natural chasms would multiply the distance. Silent for a moment, Wang Lin's eyes flickered. A suspicion rose within him that the changes in the Great Soul sect and Unity sect were closely tied to the Green Devil continent. He could not confirm it, but if it were true, then someone might already be waiting for him at the Heavenly Bull continent's borders. In that light, passing through the Green Devil continent, though dangerous, might actually be the safest path. After all, few would imagine that Wang Lin would dare venture there alone. With his decision made, Wang Lin immediately shifted direction. Using shrinking earth technique, he sped toward the alchemy sea, merging with heaven and earth as he traveled. Careful every step of the way, he pressed straight for the Danhai. Whenever the shrinking earth technique could not be used, he did not transform into a rainbow streak to dash across the sky. In today's Heavenly Bull continent, all were his enemies. Whether cultivators of the Heavenly Bull continent or of the Green Devil continent, once they saw him, once they recognized him, battle was inevitable. After all, ordinary Heavenly Bull continent cultivators only knew of the Soul Order, not what lay hidden behind it. But Wang Lin had no desire to slaughter them. Thus, each time the technique's power waned, he would find a secluded place to conceal himself, waiting until the interval passed before resuming his journey. This, however, slowed him considerably. By the time he crossed the extreme heaven grasslands, he was only a single teleport away from the Alchemy Sea, roughly 3 months of flying distance, and already several more months had passed. In this season, the Heavenly Bull continent was gripped by winter. Snowflakes fell from the sky, and as far as the eye could see, the land was sealed in ice. The cooldown for shrinking earth technique would not clear for another half-month. During these months of concealment, Wang Lin's injuries had fully healed. Now, treading over the snowy ground, he braced against the cold winds and pressed forward step by step. Not far ahead, in the snowfall of twilight, stood a mortal city. Scattered lantern lights glimmered, and tendrils of cooking smoke rose into the sky, mingling with the drifting snow. It was tranquil, beautiful. This was Wang Lin's first time entering a mortal world within the immortal firmament continent. Though not far from the Alchemy Sea, it had been spared when the Danhai collapsed. When the Alchemy Sea had broken, no mortals perished. The legends surrounding the Danhai had endured for ages, and both the Green Devil continent and the Heavenly Bull continent had long since sealed off its borders as a forbidden ground, forbidding mortals from dwelling there. Had the Danhai's immortal pill erupted closer to the Heavenly Bull continent, this very city would have vanished in an instant. The snow thickened. The wind howled like malevolent spirits roaring in the heavens, scattering the smoke rising from hearths before it could take shape. Within the city, mortals, heads lowered, clad in cotton-padded coats, hurried toward the warmth of their homes. It was at this moment that Wang Lin entered the city. Perhaps, I am seeking a taste of the ordinary, he whispered. Each step crunched on the snow beneath his feet. A few flakes landed on his face, cold against his skin. From one end of the city to the other, he walked across its breadth. Behind him, the footprints he left in the snow were quickly swallowed, fading without a trace. By the city gate on the far side, Wang Lin turned to look back. Along the way, he had seen scenes of the mortal world, glimpses of ordinary life. In the snowy dusk, the countless household lights flickered to life one by one. Yet the warmth they carried no longer touched him. Everything about him felt like footprints on snow, already buried and fading away. He did not belong here. For the first time, Wang Lin felt a nameless sensation rising within him. Faintly, he understood. His cultivation had already severed the last thread tying him to the mortal world. He knew that 3 cycles of mortal transformation marked the end. Beyond the third came final severance. It was a shift of the heart. Though he still wished to linger in mortal cities, watching the cycles of life and death, he could no longer fully blend in. Has my heart lost its stillness? Wang Lin whispered, lifting his gaze to the falling snow. In the deepening night after dusk, he stood alone beside the gate. My origin source is now number 8. Only one more, and I can step into the profound void realm. From there, I am confident I can swiftly endure the 9 profound tribulations. Perhaps my heart truly is restless. Yet someday, I will once again sit quietly in a mortal city, just as before, and silently commune with the heavens. Wang Lin had come, and now he left in melancholy. It was as if he had lost something he sought yet could never find. This is the price of becoming strong, he thought, walking lightly. Passing through the closed gate, he braved the wind and snow, step by step fading into the distance. Behind him, the myriad lights flickered warmly. Wang Lin longed for that warmth, but it remained forever out of reach. The wailing wind swept through the drifting snow, weaving faint strains of music, like the mournful notes of a snowbound zither. They echoed endlessly, accompanying Wang Lin's solitary figure until it vanished into the unknown. Months later, on this day, the collapsed Alchemy Sea had become a vast basin, empty, desolate, lifeless, filled only with silence and death. Wang Lin's figure appeared above its ruins. This was his second visit here. Compared with before, this time his heart carried the weight of parting. Walking across the barren basin, he spread out his divine sense. The closer he drew toward the Green Devil continent, the more cautious he became. Another month passed. The moment he stepped beyond the Alchemy Sea onto the Green Devil continent, he felt it, a chilling aura blanketing the entire land. That aura reeked of cruelty and bloodlust, steeped in evil. Be it mortals, savage beasts, or cultivators, all who were born here carried its taint. The Green Devil continent was unlike the Heavenly Bull continent. Mountains were few, while endless swamps sprawled across the land. These boundless marshes seemed filled with ancient, terrifying legends, and to tread upon them was to feel unease creep into one's heart. Wang Lin disliked this land. Few powerful cultivators remained on the Green Devil continent. Most were of low rank, posing no threat to him. Yet he kept his discipline, traversing the continent with the shrinking earth technique. In the depths of this continent, he sensed a mysterious power, a vast force brimming with demonic energy. According to the tortoiseshell map, its location matched the Green Demon Scorpion Temple. On the Heavenly Bull continent, no such temple had been built. Erecting one required a decree from the Immortal Emperor. Without such an edict, no temple could stand. The malign aura here was strong enough to disturb the mind. Wang Lin avoided it, skirting past as he moved toward the far edge of the continent, where it bordered the Meng Earth continent. Time passed quietly. Months slipped by. He encountered some cultivators, but none could hinder his steps. At last, one day, he arrived at the border of the Green Devil continent. There, the land rose into a towering mountain range, one of the few on the continent. The peaks soared skyward, as though touching the heavens. Beyond them lay the Meng Earth continent. Standing at the base, Wang Lin's expression remained calm. As he gazed upward, he felt it. Atop the mountains, two torrents of demonic qi surged skyward. They condensed into the colossal phantoms of scorpions, coiled above the range. They were two green demon emissaries. Behind them, at the highest peak, a sword aura erupted the instant Wang Lin approached. Like a force to shatter the heavens, it condensed into the image of an ancient sword, hovering in the air like the mountain's tip itself. Only now, after all his journey, did Wang Lin encounter true resistance from the cultivators of the Green Devil continent. Within that sword aura, he sensed a familiar ripple. This was enough to prove that Wang Lin's decision to leave the Green Devil continent was the right one. Otherwise, no matter which other path he chose, he would have faced even greater obstacles. 3 people, you think far too highly of me. Wang Lin's expression remained calm as he stepped toward the mountain range. The moment his foot touched down, 2 surges of green demon aura roared skyward from the peaks. From afar, they looked like 2 green fiend scorpions, descending in a frenzy straight at him. At the same time, from the very top of the range, an ancient sword shadow unleashed a heaven-shaking cry. Its brilliance swept across heaven and earth, following close behind the 2 demonic auras. With the force to split open the sky, it slashed directly toward Wang Lin. The world itself seemed to hum. The radiance of that sword strike eclipsed everything, transforming into a single dazzling arc, the lone light piercing through the void as it descended in an instant. Wang Lin's eyes flashed coldly. The heavenly bull totem etched on the side of his face shone with eerie light, and in a heartbeat, countless black threads spread over his body. In the blink of an eye, they formed the heavenly ox soul armor, wrapping him completely. Only his long white hair and the icy glint of his eyes were visible beneath the armor. As the armor fused onto him, Wang Lin's aura surged explosively, instantly reaching the peak of the early void tribulation stage. He stepped forward with lightning speed, closing the distance between himself and the first green fiend scorpion, the green demon emissary. But just as the 2 closed in, before Wang Lin could even strike, the emissary's cold face twisted with madness. Without using any divine abilities, he pressed both hands against the center of his brow. A terrifying fluctuation erupted from within his body. His cultivation was at the mid-void tribulation stage, yet at that instant, he chose to self-destruct. This was complete self-detonation, without the slightest hesitation. The explosion of a mid-void tribulation cultivator was powerful enough to shake the Green Devil continent itself, creating a force that could obliterate the heavens. Even late void tribulation cultivators would frown upon confronting such destruction head-on. But that wasn't the end. Without warning, the second green demon emissary behind him also chose to self-destruct at the exact same moment. Two mid-void tribulation cultivators self-detonating together. Such devastation would force even a late void tribulation cultivator to retreat immediately. As the explosions ignited, Wang Lin's eyes gleamed with sharp light. An immense sense of crisis surged through him. It wasn't just the destructive power of the self-detonations. It was the question of why. Why had they both chosen to blow themselves up before a real battle had even begun? It was too strange. Especially since the two of them, along with Xun'er, the one who had unleashed the world-shaking sword aura, had the strength to fight him directly. There was no need for such self-destruction. Something this abnormal could only mean a greater scheme. For the Green Devil continent to sacrifice two mid-void tribulation emissaries, their true goal had to be vast and terrifying. From the looks of it, they were determined not to let Wang Lin leave this place alive. Thunderous booms split the air. Wang Lin's gaze sharpened. Raising his right hand, he clawed at the void, summoning the earthen humanoid armor into his grasp. With a single swing, earthen light enveloped his body. Then, drawing on every ounce of cultivation he could muster, he fully unleashed his Tao ancient power without reservation. The instant this aura burst forth, an enormous Tao ancient colossus materialized behind him, towering as though it supported heaven and earth itself. The figure's roar echoed for tens of thousands of miles. Its Tao ancient fluctuations swept outward in a storm, enveloping Wang Lin completely as it stood firm against the destructive force of the two self-detonations. The first explosion struck with world-shattering fury, shaking the Tao ancient colossus violently, cracks spreading through its form. Before it could recover, the second explosion detonated, crashing down with even greater ferocity. The ground-rending blasts tore through the heavens. Wang Lin's empowered form, fused with both his Tao ancient strength and the cultivation of the early void tribulation stage, collapsed under the impact. As the colossus disintegrated, the remnants of the two self-detonations surged toward him. They struck the first layer of his defenses, slamming into the earthen humanoid armor. The blast hurled him backward thousands of feet. His essence spirit trembled violently, and blood spilled from the corner of his mouth. The armor of earthly soil cracked at the chest, a palm-sized fracture spreading across it, though it did not shatter completely. Yet even so, Wang Lin endured. His body swayed, blood dripping, but he still stood. They want me injured, to stall for time. Wang Lin had tried using the shrinking earth technique before, but this place was sealed. Even with the soul armor on, he still couldn't cross it. Just as he retreated, a sword cleaved down from the heavens. Its brilliance screamed through the air, its momentum terrifying, as if it could split the land in two. In a flash, it was upon him. Wang Lin snapped his head up. His right hand shot forward, fist clenched, and he punched directly at the sword descending from the sky. Against such a fierce sword shadow, intricate divine abilities were pointless. Better to smash it with raw force. With a thunderous boom, the sword's shadow shattered at the moment it struck, but Wang Lin's right hand trembled, numb to the bone. The earthen humanoid armor on his arm fractured instantly. Sword chi surged down his arm into his body, threatening to tear him apart. But Wang Lin forcibly suppressed it. His figure blurred into a rainbow streak, rushing straight toward the man in green standing atop the mountain range. That man's expression was cold. His name was Xun'er. As Wang Lin roared toward him, Xun'er suddenly raised his right hand. A second sword roared to life, forming a colossal sword shadow that slashed down again. This sword was stronger than the last. Wang Lin growled low, not hesitating. His right fist crashed forward once more. The explosion resounded. The second sword shattered, but his earth armor arm exploded into fragments. At the very instant that sword disappeared, Xun'er unleashed a third and a fourth. Two sword chi pillars erupted, surging straight at Wang Lin. The mountains shook with deafening booms. Wang Lin charged through, now less than 100 zhang from Xun'er. his face twisted with killing intent. Yun'Kong's complexion paled. He glared at Wang Lin with unyielding eyes. At the critical moment, he bit his tongue and spat out golden blood, which condensed into 9 sword shadows flying at Wang Lin. Then, with a grasp at the void, an ancient sword appeared in his hand, radiating imperial aura. With it gripped tightly, Yun'Kong leapt high and cleaved down a final strike, following behind the 9 sword shadows. The instant Wang Lin saw that ancient sword, he sensed the imprint of a grand heavenly venerable's divine ability upon it. It was just like his own golden seal. Both were treasures conjured out of nothing by a grand heavenly venerable. As the 9 sword shadows closed in, Wang Lin's eyes flashed. He had no intention of staying here. Whoever blocked him would face his fury. His right arm armor was gone, but he still had his left. His left fist clenched tight. Then he struck 9 blows in rapid succession against the 9 sword shadows. Let's see if your blade is sharper, or my fists are harder. The mountain range shook as if the heavens were torn apart. A storm blasted outward in every direction. Within that tempest, the 9 sword shadows disintegrated, while the armor on Wang Lin's left arm shattered completely. Yet he strode forward, breaking through 100 zhong, now only 20 zhong from Yun'Kong's final strike. A divine treasure forged from the grand heavenly venerable's power. Wang too possesses one. He had not used the remnant night technique. Even with his cultivation bolstered by the soul armor, he could not unleash it twice in succession. He had to save it for the critical moment against Yun'Kong. Though the fight looked grueling, he had not yet been forced to draw upon that technique. Besides, he already understood Yun'Kong's intent, just like those 2 green demon emissaries who had self-detonated. All of this was nothing but a ploy to delay him. As Wang Lin's words rang out, his right hand reached into the void. A massive golden seal manifested in an instant. The golden seal collided with the golden ancient sword. Heaven and earth roared. Yun'Kong spat blood, his body weakening. The sword in his hand recoiled violently, shattering into countless fragments. His body was hurled back and slammed into the ground. The golden seal bore a deep crack, but did not shatter. It merely dimmed and dulled before Wang Lin withdrew it. When divine treasures of this kind clashed, the outcome depended not just on their form or the power infused within, but on the amount of faith power that the grand heavenly venerable had poured into them at the moment of creation. To conjure something from nothing, that was a realm of utmost mystery. And clearly, Yun'Kong's sword carried far less faith power than Wang Lin's golden seal. Wang Lin put away the seal and stepped onto the mountain's peak, his gaze cold as it locked on Yun'Kong nearby. Blood spilled endlessly from Yun'Kong's lips. He stared at Wang Lin, his expression full of despair. I lost. He did not speak of Wang Lin's heavenly ox soul armor, nor of the divine treasure also conjured by a grand heavenly venerable. A loss was a loss. But you've lost as well. Yun'Kong struggled to his feet, eyes complicated as they met Wang Lin's. Your soul armor's time is almost up. The 2 self-detonations, my relentless delay, all of it was just to hold you here for a brief moment. None of us ever thought, nor did we foresee, that you would actually escape this place. As Yun'Kong spoke, Wang Lin turned and sped toward the other side of the mountain range. He paid no attention to the man's rambling words. Instead, as he moved forward, he flicked his right hand behind him. A streak of blood-red light flashed and pierced straight through the forehead of the heavily wounded Yun'Kong. There was no scream, no resistance. The blood sword pierced Yun'Kong's skull and instantly returned to Wang Lin's rushing figure. Whether the fallen Yun'Kong was a clone or his true body, Wang Lin had no time to check. A looming sense of danger hung over him, an instinctive warning that reminded him of the first time he faced Shuidozi all those years ago. Beyond the endless mountains lay a desert. This was the Meng Earth continent, where such deserts were the most common terrain. Nearly 70% of the entire Meng Earth continent was nothing but boundless sand. Ancient rumors spoke of a mysterious cultivator from beyond the heavens who once arrived here. After losing a battle against the immortal progenitor, he was sealed in this place. That cultivator possessed a terrifying earth origin power, and after his sealing, the land transformed into this vast desert. His surname was said to be Meng. Over countless years, this place became known as the Meng Earth continent. The land was saturated with the aura of Earth origin, just like the Green Devil continent. In truth, that continent too was steeped in Earth origin, and the Green Fiend Scorpion was a vicious beast born from the depths of the Earth itself. Its demonic aura merely masked its true nature. All these records were inscribed within Wang Lin's tortoise shell. The moment he saw the Meng Earth continent, these memories surfaced. Yet he had no time to dwell on them. Borrowing the soul armor's speed, and unable to perform the shrinking Earth technique, he charged headlong toward the Meng Earth continent. The distance shrank rapidly. In the blink of an eye, Wang Lin had crossed most of the 10,000 li border, leaving fewer than 1,000 li between himself and his destination. The Meng Earth continent was now in sight. But just then, heaven and earth changed color. Ahead of him, 6 points suddenly flared with blinding light, rippling waves radiating outward. It was the activation of teleportation arrays. The arrays spun with incredible speed. In the instant Wang Lin's eyes fell upon them, each of the 6 arrays already shimmered with dozens of figures. Hundreds of cultivators materialized in an instant, their terrifying auras bursting forth like a tidal wave. Opening 6 teleportation arrays simultaneously had come at an enormous cost to the Green Devil continent, especially teleporting so many at once. The higher a cultivator's level, the heavier the toll. For a third-step great power to be teleported, the price would be unimaginable. Yet these hundreds of cultivators were all formidable. The price to summon them could drain the Green Devil continent of 100,000 years of resources. These cultivators had originally lain in ambush along the borders of Heavenly Bull continent, waiting for Wang Lin's arrival. But due to a miscalculation, they had been forced to teleport here. And this was only the first wave. More were already on their way. All the cultivators wore similar attire. Though their robes varied in color, each bore the same black and white sun and moon emblem. Wang Lin recognized this symbol from his tortoiseshell's records. It belonged to the Dao Demon sect, the greatest sect of the Green Devil continent. This assassination and blockade wasn't orchestrated by the entire continent. It was solely the power of the Dao Demon sect. Though only 1,000 li away from the Meng Earth continent, Wang Lin now found his path barred. The foreboding sense of danger pressing on his heart grew stronger by the breath. His pupils contracted sharply as his figure blurred forward. In that same instant, the hundreds of cultivators from the 6 arrays surged into the air, streaking toward him. Black shadows were hurled from their hands, crashing down all around Wang Lin. Heads of 9 cultivators from the extreme heaven grasslands. Heads of 6 cultivators from the extreme heaven grasslands. Heads of profound calamity rogue cultivators from the extreme heaven grasslands. Extreme heaven grasslands. Those cold, mocking voices echoed across the heavens, chilling Wang Lin's heart. He saw those severed heads, those twisted faces. They were faces he knew, the cultivators who had fought beside him in the Heavenly Bull's 3rd cave, who had endured months of battle with him in the extreme heaven grasslands, and survived. He never learned their names, but he remembered their faces. Now, hundreds of heads lay before him, nearly half of all who had made it out alive from that hellish place. Didn't you love collecting heads? These are the Dao Demon sect's first gift to you. A venomous voice reverberated across heaven and earth. Dao Demon sect. Wang Lin's eyes blazed with scarlet fury. A venomous oath erupted from his heart. If I, Wang Lin, survive this day, I will annihilate your entire sect. For the first time on the immortal firmament continent, he was filled with such overwhelming desire to destroy a sect,